Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Ray on Farside TV with my co-host Jeremy Scippio.
Hold on, people.
Yeah, man, it's been a whole lot going on. It's been a whole lot going on, and I've been kind of waiting to hear you. I love your point of view. I love your point of view. But before we get into all that,
Okay.
uh, man, on the hip hop side of the game, we got Lord Jamal,
Okay.
Brand Nubians. Um, he was upset because uh he feels there's a different narrative to the origins of hip hop than KRS-One and these other OGs are painting. And he said that basically the word cipher comes from uh, like a 5% term where
Okay.
they would have ciphers where people would get together and exchange knowledge and they would, go back and forth. And the goal was to educate, you know what I'm saying? To educate everybody and everybody kind of put their knowledge out there and whatever, so forth. And so basically, he called out all the OGs, none of the new guys, but basically the OGs, because he felt like uh, he's not going with the narrative that people are using as far as the origins of hip hop and how it was created, so on and so forth. And
Right.
it's amazing because with that narrative, uh, none of the OGs have stepped up to a whole conversation with.
Yeah, um, I think that's well, that's always been debated as far as like hip hop's origins. Um, I don't even know how they came to the conclusion about. Well, actually, I do know. I was gonna say with Cool Herc, in hip hop, they said there was it's an index card that they used as a party flyer back then, and I guess they had hip hop that word hip hop on it. But
Well, well, no, they there was a old school MC, and I believe he said that he had went to the army, and I guess he came back from the army, and he was doing some call and response at a party, and he was like hip hop hip,
but see, okay, look, see that story that you just told, right? All
Mm-hmm.
right, where'd you get that from?
I saw the guy who said he did it. You know.
But see, that's not my point. What I was getting at. See, none of these guys have fully gotten together and had that conversation. So all of us are just sitting back on that one. It evolved into a whole other thing. So, like, I think that is good if Lord Jamar is like saying, "Hey, we just had this meeting and go, like literally call out the guys." Because remember when we had dang, what's his name? We had him on here. I reference him all the time. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Breakbeat
Uh,
Lou.
yeah, yeah. Bray B. Lou. Bray B. Lou. I remember I asked him what he thought of Cool Herc, and then he invent hip hop, and you could see like the you know what I mean? Like,
Twitching the eye. You a fool.
but I get it because even with me, like I'll have people come up to me. I have comics, newer comics, or just actually, it's not even true. Older comics even. They come up to me and tell me some history about comedy store, the improv, and I hear that perspective, but I'd be like, I was there. Like you telling me a story with all this dramatics when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So Lord Jamar, which I he's always I ain't gonna lie for me. This is a hot take. To me, he's a clown. Just because just because he's always in it for like he's always his name come up in the news because he always got something crazy to say. But with this one, I'm on his side. If he has more information, I think all the old heads should get together and like, you know, put some more defining things as opposed to letting the corporations define what hip hop is. It'd be cool to hear. like a definitive. This is what hip hop is from the guys that are still alive because hip hop's not that old. So
Yeah, I would say what was surprising to me is he basically called everybody out
hmm
and they just ignored him, man, which is that's those advanced tactics, you know, the man, if you don't respond, it just kind of goes away type of thing. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
do they not respect his opinion?
I don't know who respected what. I know no one has responded. No one has. Hey man, I remember when I was younger, maybe about 18 years old. I can remember going to a club at 18 years old and talking to a girl and her just ignoring me. And not ignoring me like, okay, no thank you, whatever. But like I could have been glass or water in front of her, just whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they do in the Lord Jamar, man. They're not even he. No one has said anything.
Well, like I said, he's exhibited a lot of clown behavior. So I mean, respect to him, but I just think that you know, I think it's just like if you cry wolf enough, when you have an actual interesting take, nobody cares. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, and then the only thing that I got against him, even though he stepped away from the situation, he was running up there to Vlad, man.
Yeah,
When the
yeah.
getting when the getting was good, when the getting was good, he was over there with that guy, which
Which
it's kind of incredible to me to see people going on Vlad's platform.
he cut him a
Well,
check.
let me say this.
Mhm.
Black people going over to his platform when he lied about the minister and refused to issue an apology. And I
Mhm.
just kind of felt like I mean, you're not above the game. Everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
Everybody misspeaks. It's the business of quick, fast, in a hurry media, blah, 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 blah. The same way that you are wrong, you need to come with the same energy to right the wrong if you know 100% for sure that you have been wrong. But it's amazing the people that know matter of factly that he lied. I mean, you can watch it, and we gonna get into liars and people that'll just say anything. But it's amazing that that's the culture that we're in, dude. Like literally, people can say anything, and nobody's even interested in it. Like as far as it, being approached or being outed as a lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's all about pushing the I can't even think of what word I always use, but it's like you have to affect the culture. You know what I'm saying? And that is way more important than accuracy. When it comes to Vlad, he got in at a good time because he was like, a good hip hop news source. But the problem is, I would say the good part is that he's like he removed himself, so it'll be all on the person. You really didn't get a chance to bond with Vlad, but then just like all things, he got overindulged and started getting good to him. So he started inserting his opinion. But the thing is, nobody ever asked you for your opinion, But he noticed he can affect some things. But I wouldn't even mind that. I don't mind him. I don't mind him having an opinion or affecting the culture. What I hate is when he is dead wrong. He'd be wrong, inaccuracy, and he'll just run off on it. And it's like that's why you don't belong in this culture. You're a leech. And I know he hates the term culture vulture, but it's apparent you know when you come in meddling with things. He'll try to say little slick stuff about people and stuff. I tell you, if I'm in a conversation, I'm surrounded by the originators of hip hop, I'm a student, man. I ain't gonna be like, yeah, that's when I'm gonna say some stuff from a textbook. Hey, man, so that's when you release that diss track about his mama, right? Like, you sound corny, bro. like let the big dogs talk it out, and
Nah,
that's the thing with him.
it's interesting. It's interesting how I think back to childhood memories and I can remember being groomed. And it's a cultural grooming. So like basically when we would have like the get-togethers, whether it was a birthday party, adult or child or whatever, the kids would eat with the kids, the adults would eat with the adults, and whatever, you'd have a kiddie table. And if a child got into the adult conversation, sometimes they would get ignored, but more than not, it would be like, you need to take that conversation over there to that little round table with,
Yeah,
with those little baby chairs, and you need to be in there with that and let the grown folk, have the conversation that they got going on.
and, you know, it's a maturity thing. I mean, I wasn't always like that, but I just say, it's a privilege to be surrounded by, such, influential people in the field that I admire so much. So I'm gonna respect it. Anybody who does not have that respect, we got to sit down. And yeah, I know because I'm the same guy that said Karis one of the whack. But that's my opinion. I wouldn't tell him to his face. I wouldn't jump on an interview and say it. But that's just how I feel. Anyway.
Hey. I also look at that and I say, well, that comes from a I think it's the wrong term, and I'll try to explain myself, but like a cultural place, and like from your bracket of your or maybe your, it's not cultural. If you were there in 1987, 88, in edutainment and the movement and fight the power, do the right thing, the movie X, you know what I'm saying, all that going on, you might.
Maybe. I'll just say maybe.
Yeah, nah, man, it was a big,
I
you.
I get it. I just think that when you know what I mean? Like, look, man, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim Allah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many that was doing the thing around that time that when I hear, I'll be like, all right, I think you think you're that guy, and I'll allow you to think you're that guy
No,
because
my philosophy.
I can't beat you at what you do. So what can I say? But I just say we talk about those guys. Hey, bro, I can spit some Rakim rhymes. I'm
I
still
have a
saying,
question for you.
what's up?
The song "My Philosophy" by KRS-One.
I have to check it out.
You don't even know.
I don't know my philosophy.
I got a Lord Jamar, you man. I got.
Hey, I will. I'm open. I listen to enough KRS. I listen. I'm like,
You got to start with My Philosophy, and then you gotta. You know. I'm not gonna say that KRS-One is who Nas is to you, to me, because I'm not gonna put him on that pedestal.
mhm.
But like I said, KRS-One is responsible for me not eating meat from 1989 to about 2005.
Mm,
Had an album called Edutainment,
mhm.
broke down the food industry, every single thing. Um,
I hate to be one of these people, but that don't sound like nothing to dance to. But I hear you though, and I'm not even one of those people. I like listening to the for the message, but you're saying like, yo,
you
nah.
funny, man.
Listen to what you just said. You was like, nah, you gotta understand. Like, Charles was that guy. He's the reason I stopped eating meat. Like that sound like a teacher, a great teacher, MC. You
Oh,
know what I'm saying? But I don't want to disrespect the legend. I hear it. Now's rules supreme over nearly everyone. You know what I'm saying, bro?
man.
I get you. I get it. I get it. I wish I was a 5%. I love all that whole era. I love the era. I get it. I get it.
All right,
Speaking of,
all right. I could take a shot glass of that or two shot glasses of that. You know what I'm saying?
and I'm gonna listen to edutainment. I'm gonna listen to it.
You got to listen to my philosophy
My
too.
philosophy, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
My
Start with his first
philosophy.
album and then graduate to Edutain. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I listened to what the Boogie Down. What was the first Boogie Down production album?
My philosophy.
Oh, I heard it. First album.
Listen to it now.
Okay,
In
I am more mature now.
2024.
You're right. I'm more mature now. I probably listened to it around 0405.
Oh
So
man, come
yeah.
on, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
So, but speaking of hip hop pioneers, man, Common and Pete Rock, man, they dropped the album. Have you heard it?
I have not heard the album.
Okay,
I've heard a song.
okay. You heard Dreaming?
Yes. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you what it reminds me of.
Hmm.
It reminds me of if Dilla was alive right now,
Hmm.
like that next progression of a Dilla and a Common kind of
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't know when Dilla and Common were making music, they lived together. Like
Oh, wow.
Common came out to LA and he lived with Dilla for a long time. And I
Oh,
and I
wow.
and not to say I don't know the inner workings of Pete Rock and Common, but they really have chemistry with what they're doing. It's not something that was emailed back and forth. It's crazy how you can tell in a time where people don't get in the studio with each other and all that kind of stuff. But like
Yeah.
me being around, I was around for like two albums, one that maybe took a year to make and another one that took longer than a year to make. You know what I'm saying? And I was in that those album studio albums, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Where it was like the chemistry, and even if the members weren't all in the studio at the same time, there's just a certain thing when everyone's coming to the studio over and over and over, and the synergy and the just all that kind of stuff. But the music that I hear with Pete Rock and Common reminds me of two people that, like I said, I can't say they live together, but they
Yeah.
it's very cohesive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I realize this style is coming back, and I think every MC rapper that's also MC, interpret it how you will. Now I'm getting semantics right now, but you should run to your nearest producer that you have the best relationship with and pump out a project because that is what's in. You know what I'm saying? That concept is what won Kendrick Lamar the beef because Mustard, well, it was really Mustard and YG. That's the duo, but you know what I'm saying? It's like that combination, that sound, like you have to find somebody instead of these grandiose studio albums where you're like trying to, get everybody,
All
you
these
know,
features, million
yeah,
features.
your audience is tuned into you, especially somebody like Common, because I'll be honest, I jumped in as a Common fan around B with Kanye. Kanye, revitalized his career, but Kanye understood Common. Common he definitely did. You cannot say he didn't. He definitely did.
I'd
Because
have
before
to,
that,
yeah, I'd
this
have.
is this is facts. I would not tell a lie, man. You know the B album, right?
I know what you're talking about.
That was the most singles he ever had from one album. He's never had that type of success ever again. That's just how that worked. But before that, Common kind of would
So
like,
you're gonna so real quick,
yeah, go for it.
you gonna say like water for chocolate was nothing?
I didn't say it was nothing. I said his most successful album. He revitalized Common's career. Common was
Successful in
doing
terms of
when you have an album, right? Most album runs, you do like two singles if you're lucky.
mhm.
One single and the second single. With B is the only Common album where he had like five singles. The only reason why they give you more singles is because your album is doing so well. But that's because he was having AAA talent as a production team. You know what I'm saying?
So
That's
I
that's
want I
why.
want to give you another vantage point or point of view to look at an
Sure.
album and singles. Sometimes, and I've witnessed this, and that's the only
Mhm.
reason I'm saying this is because it's I could
Yeah.
say it's not theory. It's not theory. I've actually watched it happen.
Okay.
When an album is in trouble, they'll keep doing singles and remixes to try to get the album to get some traction.
Maybe like way back in the day, but around this time period, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because certain artists was in trouble and they let these dudes drown. I mean, there's some people that could help from having more singles. Now, I could say maybe way back in the day when they would do the. I understand what you mean because they do like the remix. I think it was like then that period where they
But
go,
even
hey,
singles though, like I would just say that one of the good things about you, Jeremy,
uh-huh.
you can connect with the millennials very well. But when it comes to hip hop, you kind of think like a millennial a little bit.
Well, not really. I think you can I tell you the truth? You gonna hate it. You're just so antiquated that you think my ideas are like to every. I'm an old nigga to people, and then yours will be like even older than that. I'm
Yeah,
the bridge.
grandpa.
I'm the gap. That's the thing. Because even you're fighting against something that's you shouldn't be fighting against. I'm. We're both debating on which old Common album revitalized his career. Mine's are the one I'm saying is not my words. This is fact. What you're saying is your opinion. Mine is not my opinion. It's Common's opinion. Because before that, he released Electric Circus, and he got to the point where he was dressing really weird because he was dating Erica Badu, and he just wasn't doing that well. He linked up with Kanye, and he started. He also got a stylist, and from there, from from B, you had was it the corner go testify and then he was able to do more albums like Finding Forever. But with that was where you got mainstream Common. Common was not mainstream before the album beat.
You can't you keep bringing up this Electric Circus, and you got to
Yeah,
understand they did that album in Jimi Hendrix studio. So
that,
you got to understand with Common being an eclectic cat, like that album was going to be that
I'm
type of
not against the
experimental.
album. I'm not against the album. I'm saying that it wasn't as successful. At the end of the day, see, you're saying it like a fan. You're a fan of him, but the masses didn't they didn't buy the album. Is what I'm trying to tell you. They didn't buy it. They bought B. They didn't buy. They didn't buy Electric Circus.
As a
There's people.
purist, I listened to the album several times.
Yeah, because you're a real. You're in the game. You're in the game. I'm in the game. You're really in the game. I'm telling
Oh,
you, the people. Huh?
you know what my claim to fame could be?
What?
So when Common first started coming out to LA, he
Uh,
started he was a fan of the Far Side, whatever. So
of course.
um they were out of town one time and I hooked up with him, but I was the first person to introduce Common to the OG Cali Valley. You know what I'm
What's
saying?
that?
The Bomb,
I don't know. Who?
the Bomb Diggy, the Chronic.
Oh. Really?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah, 92.
Dang. Well, now you're really telling yourself. You are you actually too deep into the game to see it as a fan. You're you're
Oh,
you're you're, you're next to
no,
the light.
but I got a great backstory for that. So
Uh,
there was this club down the street from the House of Blues. Were you in LA when the House of Blues was still going on or no?
yeah. It was
Okay.
across the street from the comedy store.
Yeah, yep. So down the street from there, they had this little club. I forget what it was named, but it was owned by some Africans or whatever. And it was the club where Denzel Washington was not scared to lose it all. And I know that it like
I think I know the club you're talking about. I think it's a little further down though.
it
I know
is.
what you're
No,
talking about.
it is.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I saw Common in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up to him and I was like, "Yo, man, it's Smooch. You know, woo, woo, you came by the Far Side Manor. Woo, 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 woo." He fanned me for real, man. I was like, "Whoa!" But he wasn't even up there then. He wasn't up there. This was like
Right. What year was this?
95, 96, 95, 96.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, Common didn't become mainstream until 2005 after this B album came out because the album was that good. You
And
know,
well,
like
I'm not. Yeah. Mm.
now, of course, you had the light. The light was his biggest song before that, but that was one song that carried the whole album. That one song carried that album. That's just the way it is. Can't do
This
nothing
is,
about it.
and you know the
What?
funny thing about this,
Mm-hmm.
me going down memory lane and us having this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I realized there's a pattern to that cat. I wasn't the only person that he did.
You mean?
Nah, there's just a pattern to it. I thought you brought it off there, but yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
a pattern.
Yeah, I met Common several times, but I would say probably the last time was with Tiffany when he was dating Tiffany,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, she had come to the Comedy Store. She was a little tore up, really, but they was having a good time. I could tell there was a couple. I told somebody I was like, I think Common and Tiffany dating. They was like, just because a man or woman hanging out don't mean they dating. They see on the news, it's like Common and Tiffany has dating. I was like, I told you. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
come on, man.
You know what I mean?
You
Like
people know when they know. And oh yeah, we got a good conversation about that. That's a little later. Yeah, probably like the last thing though about that kind of
but
stuff. But I'll go ahead.
real quick, I just want to do the album review. I'm not gonna do too long. I just want to say, Common needed Pete Rock. This it sucks that this had taken so long to happen, but he knows him. He knows his sound. Like I said, it's just very reminiscent of when Common and Kanye first linked up, and it was like, oh, this is somebody who knows my sound, and Pete Rock knows Common sound. You know what I mean? I don't even know their history per se, because Pete Rock has an extensive history. He works with everybody. Matter of fact, I thought Pete Rock was out the game because last I heard he was beefing with Nas over I think he didn't get paid for Illmatic or something like that. It's something he didn't get paid for that he was mad about, and he kind of dissed Nas, and Nas kind of said something back, just on some like, dang, that's messed up. But that was it. So to see Pete Rock come back in the official capacity and doing his thing and making new songs and stuff like that with Common, I really like this album. I really like this album, and I've been listening to it today, like all day today.
So
So
you trying
uh-huh.
to tell me that like water for chocolate, when Rozelle was in the Roots, this is when Rozelle was in the Roots. You had Rozelle in the Roots, you had Hub in the Roots.
You you
Like,
standing you standing too close to the sun to see the light, bro. You too close. You in the game. Look. I am a guy who was just putting CDs in and taking them out. That's who I am. You know these guys.
man,
I'm telling you.
man.
But like Water for Chocolate was great. But it's that was not an album that pushed Common. Common wouldn't be making the money he's making now if his career stopped there. I mean, if his music stopped there. You know what I mean? The light carried that album.
The
The
last
light,
thing I'm gonna say,
yeah.
the song that he did with MC Light on Like Water for Chocolate.
You just named somebody else whose career. She didn't have a B. If she had a B album, if she had Kanye West production, she would still be making that level of music. But now MC Light is relegated to being the voice of BET.
You know what you're making me feel like right now?
How am I making you feel?
So there's an analogy that I give to people all the time. And
Uh-huh.
I say, do you know why uh it's more older white guys that do it than black guys, but there are some black guys that do it too. Have you ever seen an older white guy and he has a pompadour like Fonzie from
Yeah.
and he has his cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve,
Uh-huh.
or he may wear sleeveless shirts and he has the wallet with the little chain, and he has the Levi's or the jeans that are rolled up at the bottom and
Mm-hmm.
black shoes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I say to people, do you know why people rock that style beyond the 90s? I mean, it was really outdated in the 90s, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, of course.
do you know why people still rock that style?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why people rock that style is because at once a point in their life, they were successful during that period, whether it was
Yeah.
talking to girls, whether it
Yes.
worked,
Yeah.
whatever. People just don't keep on without it working. At some point, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like, yeah, man, maybe in-depth conversations with you and I about hip hop, man. You look at me like the guy with the pompadour and the cigarettes rolled up in my sleeve, man.
Well, look, I think you have a wealth of knowledge, right? And I don't think it's I don't think it's inaccurate, but I just don't think it's when Kendrick said
Relevant. Say it,
no, no,
relevant.
no, 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 it's relevant. It's definitely relevant. It's not that. It's what Kendrick said. Notice I said we. It's not just me. I'm what the culture feeling. So my perspective is the collective. Like sometimes I forego my actual opinion to express what I'm like. Oh, this is what the people are saying. You know what I'm saying? So, yours is you hands on, and I appreciate it. I'm telling you, but yeah, with this one, but this is what I'll say to close out this. I believe what you're saying for sure when it comes to Jay Dilla and Common. Like Common, Jay Dilla probably authored Common sound. And I would say what Kanye did was emulate that sound and kick it up a notch. And I would say Pete Rock is doing the same thing where he's emulating that sound because
Okay.
Common can't work with everybody. Like for example, he did the Universal Mind Control album with Pharrell. That wasn't a good album. They don't mesh that well with these new futuristic beats and stuff. And Common, he rap kind of slow. It just didn't fit. And the Neptunes work with everybody, but Common and Neptunes, I never need to hear that again. Never, never, never. Same, for example, 50 Cent and Timberland, right? They did AO Technology with Justin Timberlake. I actually like the song. These niggas don't need to work together though. They don't have enough in common. They don't mesh well. But I would say what Kanye was able to do with Common was he gave him that push to take him to the next level. I know you hate that, but literally, Common's a whole movie star. He's a personality. He has a career based on his person, like who he is. That started with B, not with like Water for Chocolate. Like
Dude,
Water for Chocolate had him running to Erica Badu for answers.
dude. Another hip hop fact. Rest in peace,
Uh-huh.
Ajale. I was
All
real
peace.
good friends with Common's manager who passed away untimely years
Okay.
ago. Years ago. It was probably early 2000s or right at 2000 or so, like that. But yeah, he had an untimely death. It was that was a true loss to hip hop. But I remember when Ajale told me Common was turning down shows,
Mhm.
and I was just kind of like, I was like, man, we out here on the road, you know what I'm saying? We got it cracking. I'm like, man, Common, he turned down shows. And Ajale
Mhm.
was like, nah, man, he's in Arizona, man. He's filming the Terminator. And dude, my mind was so unable to comprehend the levity of what was going on I was kind of like, okay, he's in Arizona and he's doing a Terminator movie, but he missing these shows because I didn't think he could have like that big of a part or whatever.
Mhm.
But as I say this right now, I'm like, damn, I also saw Common and John Wick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, amongst all the other great movies that I will
Hey
not take
man,
that. You know,
he's official. He in the game, man.
yeah, no, he's a thespian.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's lit, you know, love it or hate it. So on to some other stuff. The cycle of Kendrick Lamar and Drake seems to finally have run out of gas, man.
Nah, I did. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Literally, what did you say? The song is number one on the charts right now. Like, and number two is like that. So, he he still, and there was rumors of Drake dropping a diss track last week. Um, it's still in the cycle. It's still in the cycle. Now we've had more pressing things to happen for sure, but yeah, it's really on Drake. I think if Drake stay out the news, then it'll stay out the news. Even Lil Wayne, they said Lil Wayne because he had an OVO chain on the other day. You ain't hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, yeah. They was. I wish it would kind of fall out the cycle a little bit, but they want more.
Man, I saw Saturday. What was it Sunday? Hmm.
Yeah.
No, it was Sunday. It was Sunday. So Sunday, I decided to just chill out, just like man, just take a break, whatever. So I had a craving for some Jamaican food. So instead of me going to LA, getting some Jamaican food that I knew would have been right, I did the lazy thing. I said, you know what? I looked on Waze and there was a Jamaican restaurant in Gardena, which is like 10 minutes from my house. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go there. And it ended up being a spot that I'd eaten at before. So when I got there, I realized, you know, muscle memory, your mind, you start to think. And I was like, well, you know what? The food wasn't incredible, but I just have a taste for like some jerk or whatever. So I'll just get a patty. And I'm telling this story to just for a couple of reasons, but more than anything to just show where we are as a society. You know
Yeah, for
what
sure.
I'm saying? So I go into the spot and I'm still thinking I might order some jerk chicken, some rice and peas, and then I stop and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna order a patty. Like I can't go wrong with a patty. I'll just get that. That'll satisfy the little taste or whatever. And I'll go back home and I'll just chill, watch Netflix, whatever. So I ordered this patty, but while the guy's giving it to me, before I paid for it and before he handed it to me, I said, "Did you guys make this patty, or is this one of these patties out of the boxes?" And he said, "Nah, we made it." You know what I'm saying? So I was like, "Okay, cool. $5 for this patty." But I wasn't feeling confident in his answer to me. And I was looking at that patty, and I know what a patty looked like that came out of a box. So I go to my car. Um, I said, you know what? I'm gonna eat this patty right here because homeboy could see me the way that it was a really small spot. So I parked like right in front of the door. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna eat this patty and I'm gonna let homeboy look at me eat this patty and whatever. So that patty came out of a box, man. And I was just like, dang, that fool really lied to me, man. He really sat there and lied to me, which just
Yeah,
goes to where we at. But while I was eating that whack pat, which I pulled almost all the crust off of it, I just wanted to taste some Jamaican spices, whatever. But
yeah.
while I was eating that patty, I listened to with full attention Meet the Grams. And as I listened to as I listened to Meet the Grams while I was eating this whack patty, which you know what, I'm a grown man. I should have pulled a brown move. I shouldn't have even ate it, man. I mean, if once I knew what it was, man, I should have just it. You grown. You don't have to. You don't have to. Just consider it a loss. It didn't work out the way you wanted. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I was sitting there listening to Meet the Grams, and I had heard as much as a Instagram story of it. Like I'd never heard the song. But listening to that 6 minutes of Kendrick Lamar talk about Drake's either his daughter or his ungrown daughter and having a conversation with her, having a conversation with Drake's son, having a conversation with Drake's father, having a conversation with Drake's mom. I was like, man, I really didn't pay too much attention to this beef because if I would have really listened to Meet the Grams, there's no way in the world I would have thought that Drake would have walked out on that stage at the Forum and it would have been all good and everybody hot.
Come on, man. He said, yeah, he said, your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. I hope him and Weinstein get fucked up for the rest of their life. Come on, man. Oh, this man a pedophile, bro. No way. What? He said your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. That's what took the beef up a level. He said, I wish he would die. Oh man, you never know how much somebody hates you until they have to beef with you. Yeah, he really
Hey,
hates. It's to the point where if he would have done more stuff with Drake, I would say, "Oh, he's fake." But no, he really meant that.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I probably could have told you about the beef pattern. I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever had like an authentic one. I think they all been like basically hot pockets in some way, shape, or form. But I got it from a truck, and that's exactly what it was. It was a hot pocket.
Oh man, I know exactly what truck you got it from out here. Was it downtown?
No, but I think the blue one.
It's called Island something, but anyway, it
Oh
don't
no,
even matter. It don't
no,
even matter, man. It's
no.
they.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you to Leimert Park, and we're gonna go to Aki Bamboo. We gonna meet up in Leimert Park.
We're due. We should do that for real. Yeah, we got to do a foodieism.
Get that
Splendid.
mukbang on.
uh, but yeah, on to another album release that actually was taking up more of my time. Eminem just dropped his album Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace. Um, I would say this album review. So I gotta tell you, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven because I like when my artists drop. This is why I'm telling you, like I'm not. People consider me an old head because I'm just happy. And even Drake's part of that too. Even though I'm not a fan of Drake's say, but if I can get Drake dropping, Big Sean dropping, Cole dropping, if I get Eminem, Kanye, Nas, Jay Z. It's just certain artists when they drop, I'm good. You got this battle. I love battles. People like, oh, I wish this would be over. They want Not Like Us to be over. I'm like, man, I need this to go the entire summer. I need this at least until September. I need all of this. And then Eminem drops. Eminem dropped. This was his attempt to combine that Slim Shady persona and this rapper to rapper persona that he is now. I think he actually did it finally because I don't know where Eminem's like decided to like say I'm gonna rhyme the most words I ever rhymed together in 1 minute. I don't know where that came from, but people like to be a rap guy. I'm like, that's not why people liked him. They liked him because I would say one, he was like anti-culture. You had a lot of angsty teens that, you had the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, and people were thinking it, hey, F these guys, right? But only Eminem was saying it. So having him be that guy and being able to make music and rap well, these things don't really cross over as much. So I think he finally was able to do that. Things I didn't like so much about the album, he seemed caught up in woke culture, like he hates woke culture, like every white, old, elderly white man today. So as much as, you know, I'm just kind of tired of hearing that message. You can't say anything anymore. You can't say anything anymore. It just kind of played to me at this point. But he's definitely there's not one group of people he didn't talk about. He talked about transgender. He talked about the pronoun thing. He talked about midgets. Talk about Fat Shame. He has a whole Fat Shaming song. He goes at everybody. He got some Diddy bars in there that was really good. He did it. He even had a good conscience too, where he raps between his old self and his new self, and basically this supposed to be him killing his old self. And and it's also a good excuse to say all the crazy stuff he wants to say without saying it wasn't me, it was him. But I believe that Eminem's going. Slim Shady's never going to die because Slim Shady's made Eminem way too much money, and he's going to always bring this character back every few years.
You know, when I first, well, anyway, I'm not going to go into the first time I saw Eminem, but I will say this though.
Mm-hmm.
After I saw him at a showcase, when I saw his first video, um, I knew he had something because he was very passionate about this rebellious culturism that he had in that video. And it was just very interesting to me for it. I mean, now, of course, well, no, it was very interesting to me that MTV had embraced that kind of music. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Eminem?
dude, Dr. Dre wasn't the like this was Dr. Dre after leaving Death Row and all that and him getting aftermath. There was a point in time when people weren't really checking for the doctor like that, dude. It was like
Yeah, I remember being there. I done that. You got guns, I guess yeah. These a million mother on the planet Earth talking hard bullshit because it's all they work. That's like his worst selling album. Nobody ever
dude,
talks about that.
dude, Eminem, him producing Eminem made everybody kind of look, and then with 50 coming after that, and then in Exhibit, it kind of just like opened everybody up for him to be this icon that he is, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was. I think it was a strategy, and it worked. It worked extremely well. Eminem is the highest selling rap artist of all time. This is not up
Yeah,
for debate. So it was a strategy. That was pure strategy because there was no reason why a Dr. Dre, who he was at that time, to even collaborate with an Eminem. You know what I mean? So the fact that he was able to turn that into something is amazing. But you kind of bring up another topic, at least for me. History has this weird way of erasing the past, and I'm telling you, just the way you said that, right?
mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre, there's an album he has that got swept under the rug. But he's the one that swept under the rug. Because he said on the one song he said Memphis say Dre fell off. How my last album was the Chronic. No, it wasn't. You lie. And the firm did flop. And yeah, that's my boy. But facts are facts, man. I'm out here on the side of history. Yeah, Dr.
Whoa,
Dre.
whoa, whoa.
What? The firm?
Phone tap, the firm.
See, but once again, so we're doing this again. Do we like the phone tap? Yeah, that beat by itself is one of the best hip hop beats. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, what you call it? What's his name? Big Boy still uses it to this day.
Nah, that was his whole back then when it came out. That was his whole thing, dude.
Yeah.
Nas, Nature, Foxy Brown, produced by a West Coast DJ. I mean, a West Coast producer.
Yeah, but nobody bought it. That's my point. No one bought it. No one cared, and that's the reason why it's a flop in history. Look, I'm only here to tell the truth.
Okay. Let's agree to disagree, but this is what I'll say.
You're hilarious.
It was a what do you call it? It was nah. I'm not gonna diss that. Nah, I ain't gonna do that for you. I was gonna say it was a regional thing. Nah, it wasn't regional. The firm album was dope.
Is
The Firm album was dope. You almost
But
had me.
then why did nobody buy it?
Jeremy with his comedic mind control almost had
I'm just
me.
being real. Nobody bought it. These are Dr. Dre's words. He said, "Y'all the reason." Well, I guess me, but us, we're not the real reason Dr. Dre's getting no sleep. He said he's talking about Dr. Dre fell off. But the truth is, whether he likes to admit it or not, he had an album. I'm gonna find the name of the album in a couple of seconds. He had an album he dropped after the Chronic, before Chronic 2001, and it flopped. And that's why. And it had the single was "Been There, Done That," had the music video and everything. You know that song, right?
No.
"Been There, Done That." The one I've been there, done that. I got it pulled up right now.
I
It
recall,
came
I
out.
recall, I recall it, man. I
Yeah,
recall
that
it.
that was the lead single of an album that flopped. It's history. But he reworked it where he said people said how Dr. Dre fell off. He said, "How my last album was The Chronic." That's a lie. Nobody bought the album, which is for whatever reason. Dr. Dre's a legend. He worked. He cooked up Eminem. That was a brilliant tactic. It got him into markets that he never know before. Even to this day, it's what's the song? What's the song? Still, that song to me, that's one of the
Yo,
most
Dre.
legendary. Yeah, Still Dre, written by Jay-Z. Now that we know, but that song is one of the most iconic hip hop songs amongst white people. You know what I mean? In general, like so you gotta thank everybody involved in that for that to happen. But anyway, I say check out Common album, check out Eminem album, great albums. That's all.
Check out the Pete Rock Common album.
Yeah, got to. Please, you can check it out. It's really that good.
So
And if you
so
don't like it, then the world's over.
so as we move away from hip hop, because we clearly have two different uh palettes. Two different palettes when it comes to the topic. Your boy Skip Bayless in First Take, man. Skip Bayless leaves First Take. Some are saying he may have been fired. Um, I was never interested in uh sports television,
What?
dude. But what interested me in sports television was Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
Like
of
that was
course.
the
Yeah,
chemistry,
right.
which you know people try to get angry at Skip, but I think that that's just his character. Like he's the instigator. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
He's the instigator. He's the white guy that'll push the line of disrespect so far, but then hide behind his whiteness. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He'll stir it up, and then he'll hop behind it. And we've seen a lot of athletes lose their cool because a couple of them wanted to snatch him up, or threaten to
Hmm.
snatch him up. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it is finally over, and I'm not happy that anybody lost their job. But what I will say, what I will say is, man, he was very disrespectful to Shannon. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And one of the reasons why I'll give First Take its props is because before Shannon transitioned over into his own show in the format that he's kind of known for now, which is getting people on the couch, getting them a little faded, loose talk, and controversy and all that. Uh, when Shannon was on First Take, that I'll say that was one of the first times where I saw a uh, I'll say a masculated black man engage in conversation on like sports topics where they just didn't like he wasn't tamed. You know what I'm saying? Because you could get you have the shows where you had Shaq, Charles Barkley, and all them cats. They'll turn it up to about a 2 or 3, but as soon as it gets to about a 2 or 3, they right back down to 0. You know what I'm saying? And Shannon, but you know what though? That could just be Shannon and his chemistry that he had with Skip, where he would just refuse to let Skip, you know.
I mean, I think your version. It sounds like it's like a bad marriage, right? Like because you're describing the bad times because it ended in divorce, but there's plenty of good times, plenty of good debates. Yeah, he went a lot harder on Shannon Sharp than
Stephen
he
A.
did Stephen A. But Stephen A. is a better troll than Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, he's a little more gullible and honest with his critiques. You know,
He got more
uh,
emotional.
right. And since he's an actual player, it was a little unfair because Skip Bayless would take pot shots at him. You
Mm.
know, but towards the end, they were getting a little too emotional with each other, and you could tell it was amongst men, there's a certain level, where you saying too much. You should never have to scream at another man. You know what I'm saying? Like once you're there, there's too much emotional investment in what's happening. You know what I mean? You take a dig here, dig there. That's great, but I think that was great for them to separate. I
Two
think
bears.
uh,
There's a reason why when two bears go down to swipe at the salmon, they keep a little space in between them. You know what I'm saying? They both in predator mode.
mm,
They swiping at the salmon, but they're not swiping too close to each other. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
It's that respect.
yeah, once it was getting there, and they both had emotional outbursts at each other that didn't make any sense. You could YouTube the compilation right now. It got a little out of hand, but I would say most of it was um, Skip taking personal shots at Shannon simply because he actually played football. He was actually in the game, so it's easy to take a shot at somebody who's working. Versus that's like if somebody said to me, "Hey, you so funny. How come you don't have a Netflix special?" Right? And I can't say back to you, well, you don't have a Netflix special, but like, well, I'm not a comedian. So if you don't have a Netflix special, that means you're not funny, right? I'm smart enough to be like, all right, this is some type of mind game. I ain't got time for it. Shannon Sharp was in it. He's like, no, get it. Now you
Skip,
don't know.
skip.
I had all the rushing yards. You didn't do nothing. You don't know. And that's what it was. But he did what I think a good business tactic is if one person thinks they're the show, and the other person thinks they're the show, it's best to separate to see who's the show. And technically, that there's some technicalities in there, but at the end of the day, we see right now we have proof that Shannon Sharp was the show. Skip Bayless wasn't the guy, and he did his time, but that time is over now. Whether he got fired or quit, it don't even matter.
Yeah.
Shannon, he got two successful shows, and we don't even know where that's gonna go. But people rather watch Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco go back and forth than watch to watch Skip Bayless.
With
So
anybody.
hey, rest in peace to that man's career. He did his time. Shout out to First Take, shout out to Sports Center, shout out to what's the other ones he did? All that, man. I love the work he did, but I just like Alex Trebek, just like you gotta know when to hang it up. Hang it up while it's good, man. Don't come back and mess it up. Goodbye. Salute.
Question for you.
Uh-huh.
The Trump incident.
Yes.
Where were you when you heard what had happened and what was the first thing that came to your mind?
I was actually was that Saturday?
Yep, it was
That's
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, yeah. I was actually about to do the album review of Eminem's album with the homie, and yeah, he was like, yo, Trump just got shot. I was like, for real? Like, yeah. Like, oh, my reaction, I just feel like it should have happened sooner, or would have happened sooner. But I wasn't. I didn't go straight into like clown mode or mocking just because. I take an assassination attempt kind of serious.
Oh, it's very
Not in
serious.
Yeah, not in a sense of like, oh man, I have emotional ties to Donald Trump, but in a sense of like
The
we are
country.
in a yeah, we're in an area we're in an era where people feel that way. They feel like they need to revolutionize, and be radicals in that way. Because to me, politics, though I know we do have an effect, I just don't take anything Trump says that serious. But somebody did enough to where they was like, let me go get my gun and shoot this fool. So I think that's serious.
I'll tell you the craziest thing. And I didn't think about it until I think it was yesterday on my way to work. It hit me, and I said, uh, Trump really said when he was running against Hillary that he could shoot somebody in Central Park in front of a crowd of people and nobody would do anything to him. And
Yeah,
I
that's not true.
thought that that was the craziest thing in the world when he said that.
Yeah,
And dude, he's literally been the Teflon Don.
yeah.
He's outmaneuvered every single thing that a normal human would have gotten trapped in some kind of a way. And I'll even take it a step further. Everybody's giving him sympathy because they say he was shot. There's been no talk about medical records. There's been no talk about anything. I believe that the person behind him got shot, but I think he's just running off of the sympathy. And the craziest thing about that is people are very sympathetic towards him. And it's almost like they don't they don't see him as who he was before that.
I mean, in a way, I think it's deserved. I mean, like near death experiences are near death experiences, and I mean, I think if that don't wake you up out of your political gaze, then I feel like nothing will. I mean, not saying I don't even have emotional ties to him, but I just say the fact that like, damn, like we hit a fork in the road in our reality where things could have been completely different Saturday. Like literally, like we're able to kind of breathe a sigh of relief because he's alive. If you think about it, because if he died, like now it would affect a lot of things going forward. You know what I mean? Like just security, just being outside, regulations, gun control. Like there's a lot of things that would have been affected. But we kind of go like, "Ooh, okay, back to normal." You know what I'm saying? So you know, I mean, hey, I can't stand him. I think he's ignorant on a lot of topics. I think he's still the megalomaniac of a white guy who's, controlling, manipulative, narcissistic, whatever words you want to use.
And wants to
But
grab him
also,
by the
yeah, all that stuff. And he's a slickster, trickster, or whatever.
grifter.
But yeah, I'm also glad he didn't die Saturday. Like, you know, like,
African American people are some of the most forgiving people that have ever crossed this land, boy. And that is
yeah, that's
matter of
that's
fact.
facts. Well, now I'm about to say something to get us in trouble. Forget it. I'll say it. We're closer to God. Anyway, some would say we're 5%, but look, I just say that had that happened, things would be a little different. A lot of people believe it's a hoax. So you have several running theories. One theory is that this all was set up by Trump in order to gain sympathy for voters. What I say to that is this is very elaborate, and I mean I think the dude loves himself way too much to play about him being shot. Period. And they think it's ketchup on his ear, some other stuff. Okay. Theory two is that there's people out to get him. They set it up as an inside job. Secret Service is in on it. They want him because he just got immunity. They're like, hey, your body ain't immune. And apparently, God wanted him this guy to live another day,
And
regardless.
I heard a very militant rapper, pro-black militant rapper, and he really said this is going to be our next president. Allah wanted him here for some reason, and he just went
Some reason.
on and on and on. And I was just kind of like, is this guy trolling? Is he just trying to stir the pot? Is he whatever? And I was just like, oh man.
I mean, we'll see come if he make it to election time. We gotta see how bad people want him gone. Because if another one sneak up in there,
Yeah.
I really understand how the dude missed. Anywhere on that hat would have worked. You
Oh,
wore a red hat. How lucky of your target to wear a red hat and you miss? Yeah, bro. In the words of the wire, man, if you aiming for the king, you better not miss.
I'll tell you his most masterful troll during the whole thing. The hat that he was wearing said 45 47, President 45 47.
Yeah, it's the updated model.
It's amazing, man.
It's
It
the
is,
updated model.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing.
Did you hear Joe Biden's speech?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I thought was out of the whole speech, right? And I actually didn't mind the speech. I think it's important to say they say they want to chill, calm the political climate down. I don't know Trump's stance on that, but that's what Joe Biden said, which is great. But Joe Biden almost said the words. He almost said, "Let's make America great again." Ooh, that
I
would
did
have been.
not see that. Ugh.
Yeah, go back and see. He was like, "Yeah, we need to we need to do better for us. We need to do better." That shows you how good of a businessman Trump is, because to make that such a phrase, something generic that's really not saying much, by the way, to the point where you could accidentally say it, and now you said his slogan. You know, that would have been way worse than the gunshot if Joe Biden would have said, "Hey, let's make America great again," and they got that sound bite. But yeah, man.
So to end everything out, this is something trivial. Uh
Definitely true. Most
there
serious thing
was
on it. Take this very serious.
there was this video clip going around, and it showed Megan Good and Jonathan Majors, and Jonathan Majors is dancing to Not Like Us at this
Uh-huh.
event and stepping. I don't believe he's part of any fraternity, but he was stepping. I guess that's what I guess when the spirit calls you, you go to, you go to whatever.
I call it a hoedown.
Literally it was, you know what I'm saying? Literally, figuratively. And so Michael Ealy walks and he sees Megan Good and he hugs her and he picks her up and spins her around and puts her down, and she's all captivated and tapped into the frequency of Michael Ealy. And Jonathan Majors is standing back there like a goofy. And I was just
It
kind of
seemed
like, there was a lot of things that I felt about that, but it was her, man. You could say
well,
Michael Ealy did too much
yeah,
by picking her up and swinging her around,
yeah.
but she could easily said, "Hey, babe," and not like, just she could have did it in a way. Women know how. They know how to not kill the moment.
Yeah. No, my take is that a relationship is between the two people in it. You know what I'm saying? The rules of relationship, how it breaks down. Um, People see the weaknesses in relationship. They can see the weakness in relationship. Everybody's going to attack that weakness at some point. It is up to the people in that relationship to come together to block out everybody because what they have is so important. You know what I mean? If it's that important. And if it's not, it's not. But if the more, but just how human nature is, the more important things are to you, the more seriously you take them. You know what I'm saying? That's why somebody coming to your house unannounced is a serious thing. Not a big deal. They could literally be coming in your house to give you cookies, but you know how important your space is, your house is, and if it's a violation because of how important you take yourself in your household, in your privacy. So when somebody does a thing, warranted or not, to your relationship, and you let that person in, that shows the weakness in the foundation of what y'all have. And not even just that part, but his reaction to it. But I understand the the situation he's in. And everybody should. He can't react. He just was found guilty of a
Of
crime.
running. He just got found guilty of running away from,
No,
away from a white woman.
no, third degree assault where your presence caused somebody to be bodily damaged. That's like if I jump at you and you end up in the street and get hit by a car, I didn't hit you by a car, but I did something, so something happened to you. So he can't react. If he reacts, if she has a mental breakdown, that's two assault cases.
Right.
So this man, I think if anything outside of all of that, we should have sympathy for this man, because he is in a position that he created. By the way, he can't even be an authority in his household, at least from what we see. He can't be an authority figure. He can't even reprimand his girl if he really felt that way. He can't show any type of reprimanding of his situation because it would hurt him so much in the long run. You know what I mean? And that's just what I saw from that. Megan Good, if whatever they got going on, if it works, it's cool. But I will say, women-led relationships, as of right now, I think they lead to disaster. I think that's what would happen with the Jada Will situation. I think when I see Oprah Stedman, when I see Gabrielle and
D Wade.
what's D Wade, it just looks so silly. It looks silly. The things that if it working for them, that's fine. But it don't make it look any less silly, you know. With Jonathan and Megan, I don't know the fool, but I'll just say if they go down the path and we start seeing more and more moments like that, it reminded me of the Cat Williams joke where he said, the tiger attacked the person, they killed the tiger. He said the tiger wasn't doing nothing but being a tiger. He said, but you put the tiger in the cage, you feed him all this food is already dead and stuff. He like, I'm not even a tiger no more. Like I don't even. He roar and people laughs. That's what it's like when a man is not allowed to be a man, or you feminize a man to the point where he is secondary in his relationship. So that's what we're witnessing, the emasculation of Jonathan Majors. We'll see if people laugh. He's dancing, having a good time. People laughing at him. Think about that. Think about that. You don't think all this is tied together?
I think you're a
Escalation.
comedian and a master at mental mind tricks.
I'm not. Okay, word. Oh, so everybody views him as this figure that they want to be
I'm just
like.
messing with him. I'm just messing with you. Nah,
No, it's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm
nah,
just saying.
I'm definitely looking at it different with this kind. That's why I love these conversations with you because
Yeah.
I'm looking at it deeper than him. Yeah, because he's probably standing there like, "Ooh, I want to come about myself right now so bad." You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, that's what everybody said. Because this ain't even me. Like I said, that's what I said. I'm not. It's not. Like what Kendrick said. He said. Notice I said we. It's not just me. I'm what the culture feel. I'm just speaking on the beyond the culture. I haven't even really inserted my true opinion yet. When you see a man fiddling with his glasses with his chick. I mean, like, and he's like, man, what do you, man, this bad. He with his man purse. He like, man, this purse don't even. What? How can we even fit? I got it, bro. That's man. The emasculation. What he gonna
Yeah.
start painting his nails or whatever the heck? We'll see. I just pray for that man because I don't think no man should feel secondary. It should come second in
Oh
this
man.
situation.
So that being said, man, what's up on your horizon as far as the shows? What you got coming up?
Okay. This week, Friday, I will be at the world famous comedy store at 8 p.m. Saturday, I'll be at the North Hollywood famous Ha Ha Comedy Club.
Okay, the
Uh,
high.
yeah, at 8 p.m. Um, let's see what else I got. At the Hollywood Improv on the 26th. No, sorry. No, I'll be at the Roosevelt. Um, the Roosevelt. Well, I'll be dressed up in a suit on the 26th. 27th, I'll be at the Hollywood Improv. Um, and the 28th and 29th, I'll be playing piano at the World Famous Comedy Store. So that is my schedule for the month.
That sounds pretty awesome, man. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah. And real quick, I'd just like to give a shout out to the chat that went bonkers randomly. You got my boy Farley. What's up, Farley? Like to give a shout out to my boy Continental. We gotta have him back on. He's supposed to be dropping an album soon. Uh, Dartmouth. Give a shout out. What? I don't know how I missed it. Uh, DJ Uncle Phil. Shout out. Is that everybody? Oh, that's everybody. So anyway, I
We
just
need
want to
to
get love.
see,
Thank you guys
you know
for
what I'm
listening.
saying? Ben Frank done abandoned us, man. We need some Ben
Ben,
Frank.
yeah, I miss the Ben Frank. Ben Frank, bro. He was loyal as heck, bro. He out of here on us. But yeah, thank
Yeah,
you
we,
guys.
we gonna get him back. We gonna get him back. But nah, man, with that being said, this has been another episode of Splendid Radio on Farside TV.